Greetings, everybody. I hope you're okay, and I hope you're fine. It is a new week. It is Monday, the 25th of September, and I hope you had a great Saturday and Sunday. A strong end, not a weekend, but I hope you had a lovely, strong end. I hope you had a lovely, strong end. You had me, not a weekend, but a strong end. Why? Let the weak say I am strong. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Let the weak say I'm strong. So I hope you had a strong end. And now you're beginning on a strong 7 days. No time for weakness here. Let the weak say I'm strong. So the weak is strong. So happy new strong. Hope you had a lovely strong end. Let the week say I'm strong. So happy new strong. It is Monday the 25th. I am geared up. I'm excited. I'm in the mood. Why? Well, I had a strong end. I was in the weekend. I was strengthened. Oh, I love this. I wasn't weekend on the weekend, but I was strengthened on the strong end of the Saturday and the Sunday. I'm super. I'm duper. I'm fantastic. I'm great. I am in the mood. I'm ready to talk to you guys and say thank you, to chat, to engage, to give you statistics, talk about power, talk about your masters, and much more. All this tonight on the show, on the Joshua Jehudah show. It is Mindful Mondays, where we might talk about be mindful, be aware. So welcome to Mindful Mondays on the Joshua Jehudah show. Tell your friends, tell everybody, pick an outset, BBC News. Right? It is here, come on live, let us all drive in and get to know the latest around the world and get to know what we can be aware of. About mindfulness, be aware, take care. Today is Mindful Monday. Be aware, notice what's happening around you, who's watching, who's not watching, who are you offending, who are you pleasing, what are you doing? Tonight's topic is about do not outshine the master. Tonight's about never outshining the master. Alright? Do not outshine your master. Do not outshine your master. I repeat, do not outshine your master. So this is the title for today's show. Talk about who you are and who the master is. I mean, you gotta learn to know who are your masters and who it is. I know some say it's giving in to the system. I'm not saying that, whereby I'm not saying the way where you're being oppressed. There's a difference. There's obeying and there's outshining. There's a difference. I'm not saying obey. I'm saying outshine. Do not outshine the master, especially now or before or whatever it is. It's all about being aware of your actions and your talents and how you portray yourself in public and what you might give, what you hope to achieve. Sometimes might be the other way around, isn't it? Definitely. So thank you for tuning in. We're going to talk about outshining the master. Who the master is, why should you outshine them, and how you can do good with your talents in a way of getting recognized without outshining others. Sometimes you gotta play a bit wise, like, who am I offending? Yes, for example, now I might be outshining somebody here, definitely. But are they my master? No, they're not. The difference. You gotta know who your master is, the one who you choose to serve, or who is offending you. But you gotta know who you want to please and who you're pleasing. The difference. Yeah, so welcome to the show. Oh, yes. I'm geared up, sat up straight, ready to tackle this lesson. So thank you for coming in. I'm grateful for your attention, for your time, for your effort, for your likes, for your positive comments, for your feedback. I'm thankful for the strong end, for the new strong. I'm thankful for the new 7 days coming up, for the good times coming up ahead. I'm thankful for all the tribulations, all the trials, all the rejections, all the hatred. They were trying to use you, trying to abuse you. I am grateful for all that because they have come to me. They've come to my aid. So I'm thankful for the good times. Thank you to Facebook for this platform. Thank you for those who created the Wi-Fi, live streaming, the apps, using what I'm using. Thank you for using my equipment. All those who manufactured it. So thank you for all the great minds behind this. Like the great masters. So thank you all for making this moment happen. It's not about me, but it's about who created the software I'm using, the mic, the speaker, the platform, the page, the scrolls, the lighting I'm using, everything. It's about somebody thought about it and created it. So I'm grateful for all that. Yes. Shall we dive in? Definitely. So before we begin, so the title is Do Not Outshine Your Master. It's a tricky one. I would say it could be tricky or not. Maybe. Could be tricky, could not be tricky. But the key is when I talk about outshining your masters. There's a time you can kick out your masters, like in times of slavery or times of pressing you. That's different from outshining. The time when you got kicking. So outshining is not about when you're pressed or when you want to overcome them or you want to, let's say you want to move on. That's different. That's more like you want to divorce or you want to dump or you want to quit. That's different from outshining the masters. Yes. Before we begin, I want to talk about what are masters. Who is a master? Just to get it clear, depending on what master is. So generally, the master was a man who has people working for him, especially servants or slaves, a long time ago. A master was a man who had people working for him, especially servants or slaves. A master is a man in charge, or woman, must be a man who's in charge of an organization or group. A master is a man who is in charge of an organization or group. Yes, so somebody is someone who's in charge of something. Could be someone in a group, or could be have servants. So that is a master. So nowadays we don't use the word that often. So it's more of the olden days that people used to use the word master. Now we got different names now. It's covered now. It still happens, but it's covered now. People use it as CEO. Some is friend. Some is lawyer. What's are now the masters? They've hidden under different names now. They've got smarter now. So a master is a person who with the ability or power to use, control, or dispose of something. Yes? A master is someone who has the ability or power to control or use something. In a nutshell. Someone who has the ability or power to control something, to use it perfectly. You become a master. Not just any jack of a trade. I don't be, not any, but a man who can control it properly. That is who a master is. I'll use my lovely encyclopedia here. Google. So if you look Google, what's Google say? Of my lovely stuff on this side, called Google's. So a master is a man or woman, or master is a man who has people working for him, especially servants or slaves. Nowadays it's modern, so they will say the word master, they will say something else. But still going on, isn't it? Overlord. So similar as Lord, overlord, Lord and master, the ruler, the sovereign, the monarch. The liege, I don't know how about the liege. A liege lord, a suzerain, an overseer, superintendent, a director, a manager. Nowadays we have these words. Nowadays we have the words master as a director, as a manager. Now it's okay. It's more calmer, but it's the same thing happening. Controller, leader, governor, commander, padrone, captain, headman, a boss, a principal, employer. This is number one. Employer. Nowadays people's masters have become now. This is the word. Now we're actually employing you. So it kind of sounds like it's giving you benefits. Foreman, chief, top dog, honcho, head honcho, a big chief, big daddy, a gaffer, governor, kahuna, another word, a sachem. So these are other words for you who say you got employers and it's giving you money and it's giving you good time. That is your master. Your employer is your master. As I said before, the master was quite hard. People say, oh, it's just what master say. Oh, that's slavery straight away. But now they said, let's become smart. I'm your employer now. Like, that's easier. Same thing hasn't changed. Just different name. So now the masters are your governors, your managers. Those are your masters. When you calm down. So those are your masters. When you have a director, a manager. Why I say those two because are the most common. Director, manager, and employer are the most common ones. We've got captains, well, for the armies, but that's different. They are trained to be that, and they're told they come in. But in the masters, managers, and employers, you're not really told. It's like they're taking your time. It's not given your value. In the army, it's different because they're trained. They're going to war. They're going to kill. They come and know. I don't think most people go to the army are deceived to go to the army. It's very rare for someone in the army to be deceived because they're going to fight. It's the army. It's there. You got a captain. He has to command you. There's the troops. So they're disciplined. When it comes to manager and employer, they don't really tell you. You don't really know what you're getting into, or you feel like it's secure, but it's not what you really want. With other ones, they are normally something you want or you're very prepared to do. But in most cases, people are not prepared to go to work because why? They don't like the job. They're just going in for security and for the money. So the masters now have changed. Now masters are called employers and managers. That's what we're adding today. So now, who is your employer? Who is your manager? Who is your employer? Who is your manager? That is your master. So never outshine your employer. Never outshine your manager. Does that make sense? Because people saying, "Oh, Josh, I've got a job and I hate the job and they don't make me do that." I mean, who are they? They don't pay me well. Well, because that is your master. Employer is another name for your employee. Is a master. So you get to a job, you have a master. So he has rights over you. By getting a job, you are surrendering your rights to them. That means I am becoming your servant or your slave. I repeat, your employer is your master. You become the servant. So you are putting yourself underneath them. Some are good, some are great. I won't lie. Some are great. Some masters are very great. But in most cases, most people who have jobs are not happy because it's not a great deal. There are cases where people are actually good and have a great master and it goes perfect well. That is good. But in the majority of the cases we know, in the whole world, people are not really happy with the jobs they have. Those are the few who are happy with the jobs they have, with great masters. The majority of masters are weak, dangerous, the tyrants, and yet they're masters. So they chose. So nobody's wrong, nobody's right. Because you chose, you said you wanted the money, it was secure, and then you go for a job. That's what people supposed to go for the money and security, that's it. When you think of the other side. With the army, it's different because they know they're going to work, but they might get killed, they might go to war, so they know both sides of the story. With a job, people don't know that. They don't know you're going to work hours, you're going to tell what to do, you're going to change your job, you may have to get transport. That's different. Most other industries, you know exactly what you're getting into, except the job. And employers, people don't know what they're getting into sometimes. And so they end up hating it, they end up getting worse than they were. Why? Because they become the servant, they place themselves as subjects unknowingly. And so you think, as an employer, no, he's a master. He or she is a master. They own you. They own your behind. So definitely, you gotta be mindful of what you sign up for. This is Mindful Mondays at the show. So be aware of the jobs you're applying for. Be aware of your master, who you're applying to. It could also be your landlord. It could also be your employer, landlord, your captain. Most cases now we have landlords and employers and managers. That's the majority of people are, because they need housing, they need a job. The rest, and the army is different, but landlords, managers, and employers. Those are the majority we have in the UK here and in the Muslim, because they need somewhere to stay and somewhere to give you money. So they become your masters in most cases, especially the employers and the managers. So think about it before we begin our show. Let me read my notes. Hold on. So definition. Yes. Definitely. So those are the definition of master. So your master is your employer. I repeat it. Your master is your employer. So when you go to a job, he has the rights to tell you what to do. Actually, you have no right in most cases. Yes, you have an employer. You have the right, but you have to give servitude for a length of time of hours, and you must do it for the pay. Sometimes they give you a minimum wage pay, and people are happy with it. They're enjoying it. They're happy. I had a job once, I agree, before, but I said never again. I realized, God, no, Josh, I know it's monthly, it's good. Yes, the pay was monthly, it was secure, but what I went through, I didn't like it. I didn't want to do all the time, and my backs, I had pains, waking up early in the morning. I said, no way, no chance. I said, no, not because I don't want to work. I want to work, but not in that sense of mind. I said, no, this is definitely servitude. I said, no chance. It's caution. It's sugar coated. You know that word. I don't mention it. I said, no way. I liked the idea of what I was doing. I enjoyed the job is good because you use your skills, you use your mind is great, but it's the length, it's the repeated day in and day out, and extra things which are unhealthy. That's the only point. In most jobs, some jobs are great. People enjoy them. They go, they have fun, they engage, they get paid, they discuss with the manager, they talk, they have their understanding. That is perfect. But in many cases, it's not the case. And once you're down, they replace you. And I said, oh, George, I said, that's it. Time out. Goodbye. Never, ever again. Why? I realized this is good. I've tried. It's likely money comes in every month. But I think money goes. And what do I have at the end of the month? Nothing. Why? I have money, but I have less health, less time for myself. I have more injuries sometimes. You got less energy at the end. Like, ooh, that's a big trade-out. Your money comes in, you can pay your bills, but what you have left, your energy is gone. You got time for yourself. You're losing your skills. You're losing some friendships. You're losing some. You can't travel much. You can't do much. Like, this is exactly the trade-off. I said, no chance. I'd rather not have a job than have a job and lose out on my other gifts. That was my choice. I said no. I've survived so far, so I'm saying I made it. So I'm not going to say my journey say it's bad, but if it's not something you're into, think twice. Especially now when people lose their jobs now. But definitely. So your Lord, your Overlord, your Lord and Master, your rulers, those are your employers. Some names, some position has different change. Your employer now is more acceptable in the community, like, it's more calm. People are like, it sounds more smoothing. There's a lot of sugar on top, like, it's cute, it's sweet. I'm gonna apply, yes, I'll sign. They're like, I got you. Want to sign that paper? And you say, yeah. Like, get to work. On your first days, you're happy. First week, you're happy. 2 weeks, you're happy. Then your third week is like, hold on a minute. What's going on here? It's going on and on and on. Why? Because you have signed over your health, your dreams, your life. If you get a great master, please keep abide. But if you haven't got a great master, that is the problem. I'm using one master instead of employee. If you've got a great master, that is good, but you have not. Chances are you are going to suffer. So I hope you have if you have a job, I hope you have a great master. I hope you do have a great master and a great manager. I mean your employer, your manager, or your landlord. Otherwise, you'll be at the receiving end. Because you have signed over your health. And you won't be able to do anything about it because it's a contract unless the contract expires. So I do argue on Mindful Monday. Be aware of the things you sign. Could be a contract, could be a job, could be a business, could be a business deal, could be buying a house. Be careful. Know who your master is. Because the devil disguises himself as an angel of light. The Bible says clearly the devil comes as an angel of light. Like, I'm here to help you, but he's a devil. Some masters are like that. They're wolves in sheep clothing. Nothing wrong with the wolf, but the wolf should be a wolf in wolf's clothing. Let the wolves be the wolves. And nowadays they hide under managers and employers, majority of cases, and people are suffering. Definitely people are suffering around the world. So if you're one of those, I don't have a master for jobs. If I could get a job as something which I'll read through the terms and conditions, then I'll see if I can benefit. If I can do it for a few months, if I can do it, then I'll go for it. The pay is good. There's good benefits. The hours are great. I see. Do I have to give in other hours? How long for? What I did before? If I'm going to get fired, what are they paying me for redundancies? If I get pension, do I get holiday pay? I'm going to look for all that. If I was to do that again. Now I have to know that. I've said, right, what do you want to work for? Who are you? What are your values? What is your credit? What's your history? Look at your employers. Look at other employers. Look at other employees. Are they suffering? Are they happy? If they're happy and it's good and it's genuine happiness and they're playing well, then apply for it. But if not, that's an alarm. That's a signal. Don't. No matter how good the pay is. If I was to bet again, I would look for that. But chances are I'll never ask again. I will promise you, no matter how you're paying £1 million, to work, I'll probably say no because I like my time now. I'm enjoying my space so much. No money is worth it enough for me to give away my time. Only an hour would be great, but you know what I mean. There's definitely. So that is a master. So for those who've been asking, never outshine your master. Why? Because your master is someone who has rights over you. You are in servitude to your master if you got a job. Landlord, not so easy because it depends on the country. Like in the UK, we have a landlord association, so you got rights and all that. But the key is the employer and the manager because they are the ones who are really, they're right ahead of you and they really pressure people to do the job. And in the cases, people I knew who were complaining day in day out about the jobs, managers like I said, that's your master. You didn't know it, but that's your master. So I can't say you hate them. That is your master. So you apply for the job. I warned you, don't do it, but you said I need it because I have no money, so you say it. So it's a trade-off. You can't complain. You wanted the money, you got the money, but you got to work for the money, which is extra hard work. So many around the world are in this trap. Some of them are doing well, but majority of people are not doing well. We're looking at statistics. Majority are not doing very well in terms of employment or masterment. Because the masters are not the ones who have their interests at heart. Majority of masters don't have the interests of their employees or their servants at heart. They're those who are great. But if you don't have the value or of human life or of love, or they don't have virtuous qualities in them. I repeat, if your masters don't have that love, that genuine love, that virtuous love, that care for other people, you are in a pickle unless you can handle yourself. If you can handle yourself, go for it. But if your master, by master I mean your employer, doesn't have you interests at hand, you sign the contract, then get ready for the devil in disguise. Some are strong enough to handle it, that's great, but some people are weak, so they can't handle that stress of work. If you got a positive mind, you get that mention, you can handle the jobs, you can defend yourself, you can do that at a job. But in most cases, some people aren't. They are not ready for that stress, for that. They're not assertive enough to say no to the master or to work. So you gotta learn who your master is, definitely, yeah. On that note, I'm going to talk about the masters and why. Because look in the UK, I'm going to talk about, show this website. This is from tradingeconomics.com about joblessness. People who have no jobs now, who have no masters, goes why? It's growing up. So the US jobless rate, moving on to some other examples before we go to the meat. So the US jobless rate, I'm expecting it rises to 3.8%. So the unemployment in the rate in the US rose to 3.8% in August 2023. That was last month, from 3.5% in July. This is the highest since February 2022, that's last year, and above market expectations of 3.5%. The number of unemployed people increased by 514,000 to 6.355 million. Unemployment levels rose by 202,000 to 1.6.484. So most of it starts in the US, as according to Trading Economics. Yes? So that was the latest one right now. For those who are in the US, I use the US because the US is one of the, at the moment, it's still superpower. But if you want to look rate by country, there's a lot more here. So these are the masters who give you the jobs. So the employment rates, non-formal payrolls, government payrolls, non-farm payrolls, manufacturing, unemployed, average hourly earnings, average weekly hours, all these are there in economics. So unemployment rate by country, I'm going to go for that in a second. So here we are. So we've got Singapore, Switzerland, South Korea, Japan, Russia, all these are the unemployment rates around the world. So the highest is the blue, South Africa, Angola. The highest is Angola, we have South Africa is the highest unemployment rate, Libya. So most of the African countries, most of the high unemployment rate. But if you check right here, you can go through the whole site. You can see some of the indications. Yeah, United Kingdom, we are right here. That is us, PIP. So this are statistics. For those who want to talk about jobs, want to find out what's happening in the world, you can check this website out. I'll go for the whole thing, but you can see who your masters are and where the jobs are. I'm looking for a new master, somewhere to go, a good master. You can see where there's less jobs and you can understand where to move to. So Poland remains the same. Taiwan job lowest in 23 years. Dutch jobless rate unchanged at 7. Argentina jobless rate 8-year low. Luxembourg unemployment rate rises to 2-year high. Croatia jobless rate rises to 6%. Swedish jobless rate rises more than expected. Hong Kong jobless rate over 4-year low. China jobless rate down to 5.2%. Singapore Q2 jobless rate confirmed at 1.9. So these are the rates you want to find out around the world. Yeah. So let's look at Africa. Is it the biggest? So these are South Africa, Niger, Burundi, and South Africa. These are high, are very low. I think this is the highest rate here. South Africa and Namibia, 20.8. That's a lot. So this show the highest in the world. Here we are 16. South Africa 32.8. So I think Africa is the highest. So Africa's unemployment rate came at 32.6 in the second quarter. So I think this is the highest in the world, if I'm not wrong. Definitely right. So that is the highest. So these are more. You can look up at more of these. I was looking at that because I saw it was a high one here. Surprisingly, Niger is quite low. Yet there was the fight for the uranium, but it looks like employment law is quite low. So in Niger, the unemployment rate measures the number of people actively looking for a job as a percentage of the labor force. Oh, I see. Anyway, not to deflect from our so this is about unemployment rate around the world. In America, where I was showing you. So America, we have the Cayman Islands, the Cuba, Guatemala, Mexico, Nicaragua, Bolivia, Ecuador, United States, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Belize, El Salvador, Dominican Republic, Canada as well, Puerto Rico, Argentina, Venezuela, Paraguay, Peru, Barbados, Brazil, Uruguay, Suriname, Honduras, Chile, Panama, Colombia, Bahamas, Costa Rica, Guyana, and Haiti. So the lowest in the Americas. America is the North, Central, and America is all right. North, Central, and South, and the West Indies as well. That's the Americas. Some say it's called the Atlantis. But we see here, that's the employment rate in the Americas. For those who are looking for jobs, as a rate, it's not too high. So look at it, wherever you are, you can check your rates and see if it apply to you. Let's go over to Europe. So if in Europe, yes, in the UK now it is going down. The rate is going up. Apparently, it's 4.3. So the Faroe Islands, I think it's a small island. That's Liechtenstein, Switzerland. Is 2. Denmark, here Malta, Russia, Iceland, Norway, Belarus, Czech Republic, Netherlands, Moldova, Hungary, Ireland. So we are at 4.3. We're right in the middle, you know. Yes, the UK has lost many jobs, and we are right in the middle. Before we weren't, but jobs have disappeared in the UK. Slovenia, Poland, Bulgaria, Slovakia, Luxembourg, Belgium, Romania, Germany. Now Germany, as you know, Germany is falling. There's a recession in Germany this year. Germany has fallen completely down. So Germany is off the chart in terms of jobs. The German economy, I said, was going down. And look what we have here. The European Union. Look. This was the previous G7, but now the jobs are few in the European Union and in Germany as well. So all these countries are beating the European Union in terms of jobs structure. Look, European Union is right here at, I won't know the number as well. Croatia, Austria, Portugal, Euro area as well, Latvia, Cyprus, Finland. France is at the bottom here. Look, these are the G7 countries. Italy. What is going on in the world? The European Union is dying. There are no jobs in the European Union. Look, France, Italy, right at the bottom. They were the G7 countries. So that shows you things have changed. Do not outshine your masters. Montenegro, Macedonia, Bosnia and Herzegovina. But you see Italy here, and France, and the European Union, times have changed. And Germany as well. And of lovely England. So it shows you that the times have changed, and the masters are going to change. There's going to be a new master in time. Over to Asia. The lowest in Asia is Qatar. Followed by Cambodia, Thailand, Singapore, Myanmar, Oman, Vietnam, South Korea, Kuwait, Laos, Macau, Japan, Kyrgyzstan, UAE, Hong Kong, North Korea, Israel, Malaysia, Taiwan, Bangladesh, Kazakhstan, Sri Lanka, Philippines, East Timor, Maldives, Nepal, Saudi Arabia, Turkmenistan. Then you have China here. China is way at the bottom. Imagine that. 5.2 for China. Indonesia, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Mongolia, Bhutan, Pakistan, Brunei, Tajikistan, India. India is at 8. I think in terms of population, maybe that's why. Not in terms of jobs. Syria, Uzbekistan, Iran, Lebanon, Afghanistan, Yemen, Armenia. Armenia is in Asia. I thought Armenia was in Europe. Oh. Iraq. Georgia is in Asia. I thought Georgia was in Europe. Or is in the border. Jordan, Palestine. So according to the tradeeconomics.com, Palestine has the highest unemployment rate in Asia. So these are some of the things. So it's all about being mindful. Be aware of your country and what jobs you have. This is mindfulness. Be aware of the jobs. Find of the masters. Be aware, be aware, be aware. So this is the country. Australia. I thought it was going to be Oceania. So Australia, we got Papua New Guinea, New Zealand. Australia is third. Fiji and New Caledonia. I thought, oh yeah, yes, that's sorry, Oceania, right? That's correct. So the G20, just Singapore, Switzerland, South Korea, Japan, Russia, Mexico, Netherlands, Australia, United States, United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, China, Indonesia, Canada, Germany, Argentina, Euro area, France, Italy, Brazil, India, Turkey, Spain, South Africa. So obviously the G20, and these are the. This is mindfulness at its best. Now, some things I'm learning today as well. So definitely check out, for those who want to learn more, check out the website. I will post the link in my description. Alright, I'll check out the employment risk. So for those who are looking for jobs and you want to look for somewhere to go, definitely check out this chart. It's going to help you. There's more. You can look for employment challenge, vacancies, and new areas. You look for markets here. Okay, you gotta subscribe for this. Okay, you can subscribe to get all that. But definitely, these are indicators for you to learn and understand. You look at your markets, the news, calendar, and much more. For those of you who are looking to go somewhere or find something new. So you gotta be mindful of where you're going, looking for jobs. Don't just go to a country because your friends tell you come. Times have changed, and it's important that you know where you are moving on. So moving on from this, we'll talk about not outshine your master. Now we know a bit about our masters. Yes, I'm going to give you a story about the master. I'm going to read from the book. That is from the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Never outshine the master. So if you're in a job, if you got a master, and sometimes you wanna, the key is if you have a master, some of them will appreciate it, but some of them won't. So this might be, decide face off, or say decide face off and see which works for you. Decide and see if it works for you, if it won't. For me, sometimes it didn't work, sometimes it worked. I was doing well, the master didn't like it, so I had to move some areas, or I had to let some people go. I didn't have a master, but they were trying to be my master, and I just said no, I don't want you to be my master. They didn't like it. I said no, I'm going to shine because you're not my master. Don't try to be my master. I don't want you to be my master. I resent. Some cases it didn't work out. We needed help. I was helping them out, and we didn't like it because yet we were benefiting. I was doing it to show off, but I was doing it just to get people together, and they didn't like it. So like, oh, what's the problem? So you gotta be careful when you have a boss, an employee, a landlord, or a captain, and you're doing well. Sometimes they may not like it. I'm not saying you should stop. It's up to you to decide if to stop or not. But sometimes people may just not like it, and may try to, I'm reading from the book here. You can see it there. So don't say never outshine the master. I'm not using a virtual background, but you can read the book there. So it's the Wheels of Power. I love this book. Keeps me going. So law number 1, it says never outshine your master. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. So in your desire to please and impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity. So by displaying, do not go too far in displaying, you might inspire fear and security. There are times when I think you have to. If you want to, those sometimes you have to. I think there's times you have to. But in most cases, just be aware. If you don't have to, then don't. So make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. So this is the power game. Those who want to play the power game. If you don't want to play it, it's not for you. But the power game, always make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. So if you're a job, sometimes you got parents who want to be. Sometimes you're gonna play the game to make them feel like, oh, this guy, yes, oh, thank you, oh, ego bruise, my kids don't fall for it. I'm gonna fall for it. So definitely, those are some of the things you're gonna fall for if you are in the power game. Yes, so I'm gonna read more of the book. I'll give an example that he gives of his book about never outshining the master. So the couple of books, I'm gonna read just one. I'll read the first chapter. Transgression of the Law. So Nicholas Fouquet, I don't know if that's French. Louis the 14th, finance minister, in the first years of his reign, was a generous man who loved lavish parties, pretty women, and poetry. He also loved money, for he led an extravagant lifestyle. So again, is it Fouquet? Was clever and very much indispensable to the king. So when the Prime Minister Jules Mazarin died in 1661, the finance minister expected to be named the successor. Should I again? So Nicolas Fouquet, Louis XIV's finance minister in the first years of his reign, was a generous man who loved lavish parties, pretty women, and poetry. He also loved money, for he led an extravagant lifestyle. So we got two players here. The king, Louis XIV, and the finance minister, two of them, yeah? So Fouquet was clever and very much indispensable to the king. So he had the king and he had his finance minister who was clever and witty and fantastic. So when the Prime Minister Jules died, the finance minister expected to be named the successor. Instead, the king decided to abolish the position. So this and other signs made Fouquet suspect that he was falling out of favor, and so he decided to ingratiate himself with the king by staging the most spectacular party the world had ever seen. Oh, I smell a big mistake coming here. But the party's ostensible purpose would be to commemorate the completion of Fouquet's chateau, Vaux-le-Vicomte. Sorry, I don't speak French. I know a little. But the full function was to pay tribute to the king, the guest of honor. Oh, bad idea, big time. The most brilliant nobility of Europe and some of the greatest minds of the time, La Fontaine, La Rochefoucauld, Madame de Chavannes, attended the party. Molière wrote a play for the occasion in which he himself was to perform at the evening's conclusion. So the party began with a lavish 7-course dinner, featuring foods from the Orient never before tested in France, as well as new dishes created especially for the night. The bill was accompanied with music commissioned by Fouquet to honor the king. After dinner, there was a promenade through the chateau's gardens. The grounds and fountains of Vaux-le-Vicomte were to be the inspiration for Versailles. Fouquet personally accomplished the young king through the geometrically aligned arrangements of shrubbery and flower beds. Arriving at the gardens canals, they witnessed a fireworks display, which was followed by the performance of Molière's play. The party ran well into the night, and everyone agreed it was the most amazing affair they had ever attended. So the guests were happy. So the next day, Fouquet, if I'm right, was arrested by the king's head musketeer, D'Artagnan. 3 months later, he went on trial for stealing from the country's treasury. In brackets, actually, most of the stealing he was accused of he had done on the king's behalf and with the king's permission. Oh my goodness me. Fouquet was found guilty and sent to the most isolated prison in France, high in the Pyrenees Mountains, where he spent the last 20 years of his life in solitary confinement. Oh my goodness me. Picture the scene. The guy said, I'm going to throw him a great party. The king kept quiet, didn't say anything at all. He came enjoy the party. That's it. Beautiful, all nice. Everyone said that was fantastic. The next day after the party, it's F-O-U-Q-U-E-T. So I don't speak French. You know what? I'm going to try to get Fouqut. What does that mean? How would you pronounce it in French? That was the gentleman's Fauquet. Fauquet? I don't know how to pronounce it. Fauquet. So this is the guy who was. So I'm going to play how to pronounce Fauquet, if you guys don't mind. So that's the guy who was preparing for the king. Yes, so if you can hear the pronunciation, let me know. How to pronounce the word.
Pronouncenames.com. Fouquet.
Oh, Fouquet. Oh, goodness me.
Fouquet.
Fouquet. Bravo. Did you hear that?
Fouquet.
Fouquet. Fouquet. So Fouquet.
You.
So Fouquet, we got Fouquet, who is the finance minister of Louis the 14th. So he says, right, I'm losing favor. I'm gonna outshine the master here. Like, I'm gonna throw a lavish party. He's gonna. It was in good faith, I suppose. But I would say not. It was good faith, but I think it was a bit of greed because he wanted power. Why do that? Because he wanted that position, so he wanted to show that he's all of it. But I think it was greed, not good faith. So after the party went well and nice into the midnight, fantastic people had fun. They enjoyed, they ate. So the guests, I'm sure, enjoyed. Like, wow, Fouquet, you outdid us. Merci, merci beaucoup, Fouquet. I don't know what to say, but you can imagine the French. Yeah, thank you, merci, Fouquet. So the next day, Fouquet was arrested by the king's head musketeer. 3 months later, he was went on trial for stealing from the country's treasury, which, like you, was accused of he had done on the king's behalf and the king's permission. The tables turned on him. The same man who gave permission to steal, now he said, you stole. Oh my goodness me, that is the worst thing ever. So you gotta be careful when you outshine your master, especially those with great power. Never, if you're in servitude to the king or to master, don't outshine, no matter how clever you are. But other masters who are okay cannot have much power over you, definitely. But those who have great power over you can put you away. Never outshine the kings or the guys of immense power. Because when they destroy you, they will destroy you. Well, this man was destroyed. Fouquet was arrested by the king's head musketeer. 3 months later on, he was on trial. He went on trial for stealing from the country's treasury. Actually, most of the stealing he was accused of, he had done on the king's behalf and with the king's permission. Why? The king had the power and he was trying to outshine him. Fouquet was found guilty and sent to the most isolated prison in France, high in the Pyrenees Mountains, where he spent the last 20 years of his life in solitary confinement. The king said, right, this guy's too smart, he's too good. He might take my job. Like, yeah, so he had to go. Smart king. I kind of agree with the king because he was showing off. That means people are going to be divided. Like, oh, this is what I can do, but why is it a king? It is true because that would bring division. To the king who was one in power. So by you showing you got power, and if it's honest, people think, oh, this guy is great. Power. They'll move off the king to him. Yet he's the king, so the king has to be in charge. He has to be in control. But this man wants to be in control. Wants the king's position. So yes, I disagree with that man, with Fouquet. You're not the king, so don't outshine the king. Let the king be the king. Let the employee be the employer. And so the man said, the king was like, He came, enjoyed the party. Like, if this carries on, this man, people will fall for him. I bet they will overthrow me. And yes, so he had to be smart and say, you know what, goodbye. So more of the story, this is an interpretation of the story. Louis the 14th, the Sun King was a proud and arrogant man, wanted to be the center of attention at all times. The master was proud and arrogant and wanted to be the center of attention at all times. So this is the part Fouquet missed out. This man wanted to be the party. He wanted to be all the time, not anywhere, not once, all the time. So if he knew this, he would have never done it that way. And that should have put him, he'd have made him in his own palace, not in his own chateau. That's taking attention off the king. So you must know what your master likes, what doesn't like. He's proud and arrogant and wants to be the center of attention at all the times. They won't accept anything else less than that. Yes? So he could not countenance being outdone in lavishness by anyone, as I thought. And certainly not his finance minister. So he could not he can't even think about it, can't apprehend that someone is going to be outshining. And if they're smarter, there's like no chance. Especially his finance minister, the one who do you want to upgrade? So to succeed Fouquet, Louis chose Jean-Baptiste Colbert, a man famous for his parsimony and for giving the dullest parties in Paris. Colbert made sure that any money liberated from the treasury went straight into Louis's hands. Louis' hands. With the money, Louis built a palace even more magnificent than Fouquet's, the glorious Palace of Versailles. So now we chose somebody who is not too smart. He's like, okay, choose a dull one. I'm like, okay, this guy won't really give me trouble. I'll pick a dull one. So now I know why people in power are not very smart, because they have no, they're not a threat to the people above. Makes sense. If you're a smart guy, if you have challenge when you're afraid, chances are you don't have a good life in this life here. Those who are not smart, those who don't have, are the ones who are being given a lot of money, deals. If you realize that, it's true. They always change. Those who are good, smart, are the ones at the bottom. The ones who are not smart, who are foolish, are the ones who've been given contracts, given money, because they know they are no threat to them. It is true. I accept. I've been saying opposite of threat. People didn't like me because they said, "Oh, I'm afraid because I'm probably I didn't want to be considered a fool." So it happened to me as well once. I think I outshined they wanted to be masters, and they kicked me out. I was like, I went. I didn't care. So I'm one of the victims of being up by the masters, but carrying one. So the king picked up a man who was dull in his parties. So Colbert made sure that any money liberated from the treasury went straight into the king's hands. With the money, Louis built a palace even more magnificent than Fouquet's glorious Palace of Versailles. He's the same architects, decorators, and garden designer. And at Versailles, Louis hosted parties even more extravagant than the one that cost Fouquet his freedom. Necessary, maybe not, but in power it's necessary, because now you got to show that you're a king. You got to show that people watching like, oh, he's a king. What's he gonna do next? So I think it was most about pleasing people here, so keeping the power to yourself, isn't it? My opinion. But anyway, it carries on. So let us examine the situation. The evening of the party, as Fouquet presented spectacle to Louis, each more magnificent than the one before, he imagined the affair as demonstrating his loyalty and devotion to the king. So he imagined in his mind that this was demonstrating that he's loyal and is devoted to the king. Not only did he think the party would put him back in the king's favor, he thought it would show his good taste, his connections, and his popularity, making him indispensable to the king and demonstrating that he would make an excellent prime minister. Instead, however, each appreciative smile bestowed by the guests on Fouquet made it seem to Louis that his own friends and subjects were more charmed by the finance minister than by the king himself. That's what I thought, and that Fouquet was actually flaunting his wealth and power. That's what I thought. Rather than flattering Louis XIV, Fouquet's elaborate party offended the king's vanity. Sometimes your loyalty offends your master's vanity. Louis would not admit this to anyone, of course. Instead, he found a convenient excuse to rid himself of a man who had inadvertently made him feel insecure. Oh my goodness me. Such is the fate in some form or other of all those who unbalance the master's sense of self, poke holes in his vanity, or make him doubt his preeminence. So in summary, when the evening began, Fouquet was at the top of the world. By the time it ended, he was at the bottom. In one evening, he ruined his whole career. What a story. Never outshine the master. Now, in my opinion, this is what happens. Those who are insecure, if your master is a secure person, I've met many of those. They want to be my friend, they want to be associate, but when they get offended by me doing a live video or by me talking about something they don't like, security is a big thing in a master. If your master is insecure, or your friend, or your wife, or your partner, or your parents, if they're insecure, I'm talking from experience here. I had that insecurity in family, and people want to be your partner, or those who want to be the master, you know what I mean? And so we were clashing due to that. So I said, I'll go. I'll leave you be. Let me go. So let me just go. Simple as that. That's my experience. I said, let me go. That's it. I had enough. I said, forget it. I'm not trying to outshine you. I'm just being myself. But if you feel I'm poking holes into you, then I'll leave. So I volunteered to say I will go. I'm just living, having a job like everyone else does. What's the problem? Oh no, you know this, you know that. You make me look bad. I'm not. You have a job. I've got a job. Oh no. Insecurity, my friend. Insecurity. It's not about you. It's about them. People want to be everything about them. It's you. It's you. Be careful. That is your master, or that is your wife, or your husband, or your parents. Those are the ones who are very close to you. Your friends can ditch you anytime, but your partner, your employer, or your parent is different because they are very close to you and they have a lot of influence over you. Yes. So if it's your partner, your parent, or your employer, those are the worst to have as insecure people. So such is the fate, in some form or other, of all those who unbalance the master's sense of self, poke holes in his vanity, or make him doubt his preeminence. Once you make your master doubt, whether it's your employer or that they'll try to make life hard for you, try to get rid of you, time will kill others. It's the many examples in history. Somebody's doing something you're doing something good to make them feel happy, let's come together, and yet they take it the wrong way, or they think, oh, it makes me look bad. So they get rid of you, or they divorce you, or they steal, or some people's murders. Plenty of examples. I'm using my example in this one. I was helping out people called family or friends, like, oh, I didn't know. I was getting together, let's do business, let's create this, but now I see in here, I was poking holes in their vanity. I said, so now I understand why we had that fight with family and some people. In their sense, I was poking holes. In my sense, I was trying to help the family. Let's get together. Let's overcome this poverty. Let's work. Let's get a business. Let's start this, start that. But they were, it's a thing what I couldn't do. So they're like, let's hate him more. Like, I tried for a while, but I said goodbye. I said to friends and family, get lost. Not even goodbye, get lost. Don't call me again. Block out. Because why? If you're in the vicinity, they will try to destroy me. They'll try to destroy you. Literally, somebody who is insecure and you feel make it look bad, they'll go behind your back and they'll try to destroy you. They'll give you hatred from far. They might smile with you, but deep inside they're waiting for your failure, for your death. So when the evening began, Fouquet was at the top. At the end, he was at the bottom. He was trying to prove his loyalty and his devotion to the king. Like, this is for you, my king, but I think he did it in the wrong way. He didn't know that the man wanted to be center of attention at all times. So if he had included him in the parties, in the everything, maybe he could have got away with it. He wasn't smart enough to think that way. If I make him look big, include him, the king, in that. Ask him before, sir. Ask him for make everyone see that he's the one who organized it. That would have been different. That's what I think. If I said it's the king who organized it, not him doing it behind him. Surprise, king. That's a mistake people make. They do surprise, don't let them know. By putting him in charge, I think the king would have let it go. Like, oh yes, it's me, and then he'd have congratulations, but he didn't. So the king felt, the insecure man, not the king. The insecure king. I won't say the king. King should not be insecure, but his insecurity got the best of them. So that man would have been great for him. So for me, in my sense, the man would have been a great asset because why? His devotion, his loyal, his everything. He's smart, intelligent. Yes, he can be a threat, but he's necessary. So he was a great man, but he got rid of him because it was his own false sense of security is what made him go. It was something else. If he was a threat whereby he took the power, it's different. If his friends liked him, yes, it's okay. I mean, if you're secure, you wouldn't mind people liking your friend. Even if you give him his time to shine, he's shining. Let him shine. You're a king, but he's also working on your behalf, so he has to shine. People might like him more than you sometimes. Give him attention. That's fine. It's okay. It's not insecure. It's celebrating people's achievements. He's still king, but others have those achievements. So he should have fought like that as a secure king, because he was a king. That should give you a lot of security. You thought, wait, I'm king. Let this man shine, but at the end of the day, I'm still king. Gosh, you shouldn't let the small things offend me. So let the small insecurities offend him. So the master made a mistake in this, from my opinion, made a mistake. But the man was brilliant. Wasn't doing it to take power from him. Wasn't doing it to flaunt or to be the king. He's wanted the position of prime minister. But the king thought, oh, no, this is too much. The security came out. So that was, for me, that's what I see. He made a big mistake there. Both of them did, but I blame the king because he was the king and he was the one in control. So the king, I think the king had more fortune on this case. Yet the man was wrong because he should have put the king, if he was doing for the king, he should have included him in the beginning. If it was for the king, then it definitely should include the king. I think so. But if the king has also said, should have pardoned him. She was wise. Okay, they did pardon him. Maybe talk to him a bit. Say I don't like it. If you want to let me know, maybe I talk to him a bit as a king. But the king had the authority here, so I'm guessing that I would say maybe the king would have done something different. You're trying to look and see where it's coming from, why he's doing it. If it was to show his devotion and loyalty, then that's great. Maybe did it in the wrong way. But sometimes it happens. We all get sometimes. We suddenly think, this is trying to outshine me. But the point is here. It's a story about don't outshine the master. I did a few times. I got punished for it, but I'm happy. It set me free. Now I don't need to outshine anybody. I'm doing it on my own. So don't come and complain. I did before, unknowingly. I was being loyal to the family, devotion to the family. But they said, oh, no, it's too much, Josh. Why? But you're the heads. I'm not the head. You're the leaders. Nothing to do with me. I'm just adding to the family, to the tribe. They said, no, you are shunning me. Insecurity. So I left, and now they got angry. Now they say, oh, I miss you. Like, I don't miss you guys at all. Friends want to be friends, but they complain, Josh, you're doing this business. Like, why are you my friend then? If your friends are complaining about your successes, you're not your friends. Don't make your friends your masters. Goodness me. Oh, never make your friends your masters. Or your acquaintances, your work people. Never make your partners your masters. Never make your people who don't master your master. Those who want to have power over you. Never make that mistake. Your friends, your acquaintances, your associates should not be your masters. They are at some level or below. The power game. Don't put them up. Keep them the same. If not be the same, keep them below you. Why? They'll try to be a master. Why having a business? Is he a master? People ask you, why are you doing this? Are you my master? Are you the one who, am I subject to you? I'm not subject to you. I don't need to answer you. Yes, be careful of who wants to be a master. That's a great way. Don't make your friends, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your masters. They're your girlfriends. They're your friends who are girls. Your friends who are boys. They're not above you. Don't put them here where everything you say you must do. They must run. You work together. If they don't work together, put them below you. They'll hate it, but that's where they belong. People who don't deserve to be above shouldn't be above you at all. If your employer, if your landlord, if your friend is trying to destroy you and you have nothing wrong, don't move away. Don't give that move. Change jobs, change landlords, change whatever. But don't let the wrong people be your master. Your master is great. That's fine. But my advice to you is don't let your friends or your associates or your workmates be your masters. I mean, be in control of you. I'm telling you, what are you doing with your business? Why aren't you coming to our parties? That is master behavior. Telling you what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. What are you doing? What are you eating this? If it's a friend, hey, Josh, mate, they were telling you off, that's different. But if you're always complaining about something which you shouldn't be complaining about, if it's a friend and looking after my good needs, that's a friend. But for jealousy and insecurity, get rid of those. I would say be careful. Handle them or say no, because they will become the king and go behind you and try and destroy you. So number one rule, don't give people a chance to be a master if you're not your masters. Only have one master in life. Only have one master. And that should be the one, the universe, the one up north or down south, wherever it is. That's God should be the universe. Should be life. The giver should be your real master. The others here are sub-masters. If you're gonna die. If you're gonna leave. If you're gonna be homeless, be homeless. Don't give away your mastership to anybody. It doesn't deserve to be a master. You have one true master who gives you life, force. The rest are just people who walk you. They have been given power. Yes, they have master over you. But don't give your mastership to the wrong person. Your friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, associates, or work colleagues are not your masters. Don't give them that chance. You should know their place. I saw it once. Someone was trying to be a master. Saying, no, you're not my master, mate. You're friends. You want to be your kind. That's it. That is it. Are we clear? That is it. If you're not, you can walk out right now. I said, no. I said, no. And if it's a girlfriend, I like you. Just say, no. If you're my girlfriend, you are, but you're not my master. There's a difference. a girlfriend is be on the same level. If you want to be up above, then you go somewhere else. You're looking for insecurity, go find someone else who wants to be babied, who wants to be under somebody, not me. I'm not a subject to you. No, but I love Josh. You know, people say, no, don't care. It's not about love. It's not about love. You're not my master. End of story. You want to be controlled. I know it's a game people play. They want to master you because they can push you down and feel powerful. So your friends, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your associates, your colleagues are not your masters. Don't give them a chance. This is the power game. If you're playing the power game, don't make your friends, oh, the masters, oh, do this for me, do that for me. What am I doing? How am I feeling? They are not your masters. Those who are in the power game. If you're not, fair enough. But for those in the power game, I play the power game a lot because I know. If you lose control, you're somebody's slave, somebody's servant. If you lose your control, then someone else will try to control you. And then you have to be subject to their terms and conditions, which most cases won't benefit you. So be careful. So the king was insecure. The man was trying to be loyal and devoted, but in the end, he went the wrong way of doing it. And so it cost him far away. Yet he'd been doing well. So who's to blame? I don't know. But the lesson to learn is be careful which master, if you don't outshine your master. Yes, be careful to outshine the master. Happened to me many times. Sometimes it's a blessing. For me, it was a blessing. I don't want to give people around, but sometimes it's not a blessing. Sometimes you might go down the wrong way and it might affect you. Like, full K is gone for solitude, unless you escape solitude. Maybe if you didn't escape, then that's him gone. What do you do? Just try to show loyalty and devotion. But he went extravagant in the wrong way. Poor man. He had a good intention, but the wrong method of doing it. And so it cost him his life, his position. If I said where he was, it was still a great position, but he wanted more. I would say also a bit of greed was in there. So if he was happy what he wanted more, he asked politely. They said no, that's fine, it's the way you are. But now he was here. He wanted to go up, he did something. Now he's even gone lower than before. Even those who are servants at the below were still free. Those who were pawns, those who were working in the gardens, they had this freedom, but he didn't. He wanted to go higher to the king. So when you attack the king and people in power, you go back down to the bottom. So be careful if you're next to the top. Be careful if you're next to the top. If you're next to the top, the consequences are higher. If you're at the bottom, not much you lose, but if you're at the top and you lose, normally they take you down below everybody else. Sometimes it's jail, sometimes it's death, sometimes everything. So when you're dealing with people with power, they can destroy you easily and they can destroy you completely. So if you're in the power game, know that. Playing people with power, be careful who you offend, be careful who you outshine, because one wrong move can send you packing back to nursery school again. The power game. Never outshine your master. I made a mistake once and I learned, oh, keep down. For example, again, I was planning to play table tennis. I began playing, after a while, I became good. I was living somewhere, somebody who was working in the office of the where I was playing. So I was playing there from the office who was handling the organization. So I was learning, but he was a player, but I was a beginner. So as I began, I practiced more and I got the hang of it. So one day I worked good and he was smashing and I was able to defend myself and he was like, oh, he didn't like it. Like, what? He got angry. Like, oh, I made a mistake. Like, oh, I think I shined him. That's not good because works in the office. He could go behind with my files. Like, oh, Josh, oh, that's not good. So I learned next time. When you're playing, I make sure I lose or I did some funny mistakes so he could win. Afterwards, he could feel better. Because even if I won, there was nothing to gain by me winning the game. So that's what I realized. Yeah, it's true. I was getting better at my defense, but if I used it, I'd have won. What to accomplish? Nothing. But yet in the office, next time he resent me, if I need help from him in the office, he would have helped me. So I learned, So I'm playing my bosses. When I play them, I make sure I win one, then he wins like 5 or 6. Sometimes I look down, Josh, you're crap, or Josh, you're rubbish. I'm like, yeah, right. So sometimes I played down, I kept cool, I kept my cool, I learned. Wisdom. My master was there, I don't know much. I'm like, I don't know anything at all. Like, yeah, I don't know, help, ask silly questions. I don't know what to do. Like, oh, this guy is stupid. Of course, you don't know that. So they come do it for you, like, oh, this guy. So they feel smarter, like, oh. I learned the game, the power game. If you got a boss, never outshine your master. So that was good for me, but definitely those who learned that. So this is a good story, because this is a powerful man. If you're in the power zone, they can kick you out. If you're not playing a power game, it's easy. That way you don't not much to lose. But if you're in a power game, you have a lot more to lose when you make a wrong decision or a wrong turn. The man was sent from he was a finance minister. He lost his position, went to jail in skip away, an isolated prison for 20 years. From being a finance minister, because he missed the power game, he was kicked out for 20 years, the last 10 years of his life. So apparently he died in there. Isolated from a finance minister to a jail cell, from heaven to hell, by playing the wrong move in the power game. But if you're not playing the power game, you can have a lot of options there. You can make mistakes and get away. But if you're in the big prime minister kingship, if you're in governor state, and you're often the wrong person, they can take you out there and then. So you gotta be careful in the power game. It's not for all. You gotta be careful. Learn how to please sometimes. Learn how to smile. Learn how to keep quiet. Learn how to talk. Learn how to lose. Learn how to play the fool. Because in the power game, one thing you're out. And if you have a lot more to lose. Amen. Hallelujah. That is the power game. That is a great book. I love it because we play the power game. Because power is the ability to make change, to control. Lose your power. Sometimes the decisions you make are not very, I wouldn't say, they're not the best, to be honest. But I say keep your power. Learn how to not lose your power. Yes, so that is the power game. Welcome to the show tonight. Yeah, the show is about never outshine your master. I'm going to show you who your master is. Yeah, for those who just joined us live, your master is a man who has people working for him, especially servants or slaves in his story. But nowadays, a master is your employer. Your employer is your master. Landlord is your master. The manager is your master. That's it, to be honest. Yeah, that's all. The rest are not really. Lord overlord, they're quite kind of out of use. Let's have a monarch as well. But if you're working close to the monarch, that's different. If you're down at the bottom or receiving end, they don't know you that well. But if you're in the circle or the influence of the big boys and the big girls, you gotta think twice. If you're next to the king, next to the monarch, next to the prime minister, next to the governor, next to the president, and you play silly games, and you don't like it, you're out. And sometimes you might lose your job, and you might make sure that they've got the power to destroy you. They can make sure they make up a false story about you, put in newspapers, tell everybody this guy was wrong, and they can destroy you like that. Because they've got the power to. No matter how good or how good you are. So the power game is not for all, but if you're in the power game, know who your masters are. And never outshine your master. Unless you have to. There are times when you have to break the rule. There are times when you must outshine your master. Because it will get you somewhere good. There are times where it will get your life. It will take away your life or to lose your life. But you gotta decide for yourself. You gotta use wisdom for that. But these are other terms which people use for master. So learn them. Nowadays people use the term employer. So people think, oh, those days are gone. No, just new language, new sugarcoating, and it looks sweeter. The same game is being played. Power is still the same from the times of the lords, the overlords. They're still there, but now they call themselves managers, directors, employers. That's the main one, definitely. Yes, a master is someone who has showing very great skill or proficiency. That could be the king. That could be our other overlords. Nowadays, masters, employees don't really have much skill nowadays. Nowadays, masters, the employers don't really have much. Some just inherited or just began a business because they could. But they have no skill, or they have no proficiency, or they have no ethics with people. That's my point. Today's masters don't have much ethics or skills of handle people. Just they find house inherited or began a business. They got others to employ. They don't care about your health, your welfare, your pension, or your working hours, and just give you a job. So be careful nowadays, because today your masters are not very efficient or proficient. A master is someone who gets control of or overcomes. So someone gets control of you, they are your master. To gain control of something is to master it. So if I can get control of your mind, I'll become your master. If I get control of your possessions, sometimes I can, not really much, but maybe, but I can be a master. It's most about the mind and your life and your time. If I can gain your time and your energy I become your master. And you fought, then I've got you. Yes? The power game is about getting control of somebody, of something, of someone's thoughts and minds. That is the power game. So be careful who your master is. Because if you outshine them, they might say it right. Goodbye, my friend. So think about it, and think about it on a great tone. So moving on from that, I'm going to show you today, on that great note, today is Monday the 25th of September. Sorry for looking at it again. So I'm going to show you what happened in history. So I'm going to give examples of what happened today in history. Yes, so on look back in history, some might be correct, some might not be correct. Don't quote me, I'm just reading the records given. Some I know some are altered, some I know that some history written by the victors. True. I'm just reading the records, so taking account, some might be altered, some might be wrong, some might be biased. But it's just for inspiration and to learn from, yeah? Disclaimer, this is for you to learn, inspire, I'm not taking as I'm not saying accuracy or historical facts, I'm just putting them as a learning lesson. History was altered by the victors or by some others, but I'm going to view this as just as a learning, as a lesson for you to learn. All right. Are we clear about disclaimer? Brilliant. So here I'm reading from this website talking about the events in history. So if you look for inspiration, definitely check them out and be inspired, true or false. The key is look at the story, yeah. Whether it's true or whether it's false. Look at the story and learn from it and do the same for yourself. All right, my lovelies. So 1066, the Battle of Stamford Bridge, English army under King Harold II defeat invading Norwegians led by King Harold Hardrada and Harold's brother Tostig, who were both killed. On this day, 1066, that's over 1,000 years ago. Not yet. Almost 1,000 years ago. That's around 957 years ago. If it's correct, no history. I'm just using the terms, but you know what I mean. 1237, Treaty of York signed between Kings Henry III of England and Alexander II of Scotland, which establishes a boundary between the two countries. Most changed in modern times. Oh, the Treaty of York was signed between King Henry III of England and Alexander II of Scotland. 1513, Spanish explorer Vasco Nunes de Balboa crosses the Panama Isthmus, becoming the first European to see the Pacific Ocean. Really? In 1789, the US Congress proposes the Bill of Rights. 1906, Leonardo Torres Quevedo successfully demonstrates the telequino at Bilbao before a great crowd, guiding a boat from the shore, considered the birth of the remote control. 1926, Henry Ford announces an 8-hour, 5-day work week for workers at the Ford Motor Company. 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor sworn in as the first female U.S. Supreme Court Justice. So these are some of the events for those who want to learn about history. Take them as all interested. So I'm not saying, don't quote me. It could be altered, it could be different, but just learn from it and inspire yourself to do the same. Those are the events. I won't mention all of them. There are quite a lot of them. Today in film and TV, Canada More music, Pink Floyd's album, Today in Sport, Canada Fit USA, and much more. You know that Andorra and Germany signed a treaty ending World War I as Versailles Peace Treaty forgot to include Andorra. Oh, but today, 1939, Andorra and Germany signed a treaty ending World War I. I didn't know that. Something new I've learned. Today's famous birthdays: Henry Pelham, Fletcher Christian, William Faulkner, Dmitri Shostakovich, Ethel Rosenberg, Robert Muldoon, and much more. Celebrity birthday. Today is Barbara Walters' birthday. Christopher Reeve's birthday. Today's Michael Douglas' birthday. Oh! Today is Mark Hamill's birthday. Today is Will Smith's birthday. And today is Catherine Zeta-Jones' birthday. Oh, so look at that celebrity birthday. So, Barbara Walters, Christopher Reeves, Michael Douglas, Mark, I don't know how Mark Hamill, Will Smith, and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Today is their birthday. Oh, she died. Sorry, the late Barbara Walters. Sorry, she did die. And Christopher Reeves. Oh yes, they did. He died 2004. So Michael Douglas, Mark Hamill, Will Smith, and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Today is all their birthdays. So happy birthday to Will Smith, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Mark Hamill, and Michael Douglas. If you listen to the podcast, happy birthday to you guys. Happy birthday to you. Fantastic. So in this day, would you believe that British physician Dr. Charles Drysdale warns against the use of tobacco in a letter to the Times newspaper in one of the earliest public health announcements on the dangers of smoking? 1878. I didn't know. Now I know. These famous weddings and much more. Famous deaths. Clement VII died today. Coco the Clown, John Bonham, Brian Stowe, Andy Williams, Arnold Palmer, Donovan. Recent deaths today: Fernando Botero, Jimmy Buffett, Bob Barker, Yevgeny Prigov. Oh, recent deaths. Okay, not today. So there's a bit of the events. Just wanted to show you. So I hope you're inspired by that, so you can find something to do and get inspired. What I didn't know was the birthdays. So happy birthday to Michael Douglas, Mark Hamill, Will Smith, and Catherine Zeta-Jones, all in above the 50s. God, times have flown, isn't it? I remember when they were younger. God, time has really gone by. When they're in their prime, when they're doing the films, remember them, when they're actors in the early 90s. Imagine that, now they're in the 50s. Wow. Good birthday to you guys. So definitely you can look up some more events on there for those who want to learn more. But feel free to enjoy, and yeah. So that's a bit about today's events, and I hope you can get inspired by that. Isn't it? It is a fantastic time to enjoy. And yeah, you must enjoy it and have fun. Let me see if I've got any comments to answer before we finish off. Definitely not at all. Alright. Pleasure. So I'll post the links below for those who want to look at the goals. Definitely to carry on. But yeah, so in a sense, so you learn about today, learn about history is good, learn about events, what happened. So it's going to have in-depth knowledge of what happens today and before. Learn your masters, the ones before and the ones who are on right now. Because I'm friend, your masters also are people, but they have the power to destroy you, to put you where you don't belong. That's what I'm saying. Be careful who your master is, because they have the power to destroy you. They have the power to put you down, put you up, raise you up, kick you here, put you there, wherever they want you to be. So I know it doesn't sound very positive, but learn who your masters are, so you don't get you don't end up situation. Sometimes it's a good thing. I won't lie to you. Sometimes it's a good thing because you actually are relieved of that duty. So you decide what it is that which you want. But remember, your master is someone who controls you. And nowadays it's the employers who are the main masters, because people have jobs and managers. Majority of them. Yes, majority are the people who have jobs and they have managers. So on this end of note, I'm going to end with some positive quotes. Yes, so I don't want you to be going out fear, scared of God. So I'm going to end this on a positive tone. I'm going to show you I'm going to read some positive quotes for you. So yeah, so for those who don't get a bad tone about masters, so I'm going to end with a positive tone about masters. So master is one who gives his soul, his life to save his soul. Master your fears before they master you. So in summary, let's end on a positive tone. Master your fears before they master you. Yes, master your fears before they master you. I repeat that. Master your fears before they master you. A master is one who gives his life to save his soul. Alright? You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control your attitude towards that, what happens to you. And in fact, you'll be mastering your change. So, end it on a positive tone for masters. I'll show you the quotes so you can read them for yourself. So you can go away with a great feeling like, yes, I left with a positive thought on masters. I'm reading from Goodreads.com. So a slave is one who sells his soul to save his life. A master is one who gives his life, to save his soul. I repeat. Actually, this is perfect. Matshona Gliwayo. A slave is one who sells his soul to save his life. I repeat, a slave is one who sells his soul to save his life. A master is one who gives his life to save his soul. Which one are you? Are you a master or are you a slave? A slave is one who sells his soul to save his life. A master is one who gives his life to save his soul. A great quote by Matshona Gliwayo. Again, Sam Orphan. Master your fears before they master you. So the key is you want to master your fears before they master. An example is that man, Fouquet, feared not having a position. So he feared it. So that fear led him to throw a party which ended his life, his career. He feared not having a position. He had a good position. Minister of Finance, he was buffed by 100 more. So he feared not having more than he expected. I mean, the king also feared this man was going to be outshining him. So they both feared. The fear caused them to make wrong decisions. Both the king, Louis, and Fouquet. One of them was fear. The man feared not having that position. The king feared that this man is going to be greater than him. So he put a hole in his security. He feared because it's shown his insecurities. He didn't have a... Now he had to go outshine the guy because of his fear. So he spent more money, more energy, more time just getting a lavish party. Why? Because of fear, not because he wanted to. He just wanted to show that he was king, but he was out of control. That's another idea. The king lost control because now he went to throw a party. Not because he wanted to. That means he was walking out of his own flow state. Doing things to please others is when you lose control. So the king sold his soul to save his dignity as a king. He became a slave at that time, yet he was a full king. So the king said, I'm going to create a party, create lavish things where people can love me. That is selling your soul to save your insecurity. That's what the King Louis did. So in that moment, he took up his kingship and he became a slave because he gave in to his greed, to his pleasing others. That's what slaves do. Servants, they sell their souls to save their life, their dignity, their reputation. They sell. Take it, I don't care. So be careful who you sell your soul to. I repeat, be careful who you sell your soul to. Your employer, your manager, your friend, your partner, your parents. To save your life, be careful, yeah? So the key is master your fears before they master you. If you master your fear, then you won't sell your soul. Master your fears. Here we go. Rising amateurs always intimidate falling masters. That is true. Rising amateurs will always intimidate. People are falling. If you're falling master, you have the time when you're going down. Those who are coming up will intimidate you because why? They're going to take over you. Which is natural order of process. So definitely. Okay, but on a positive tone. So if you're playing the game without wounds, you are not playing the game. You are watching the game. If you're playing the game with wounds, you are not playing the game. You're mastering the game. P.S. Jagadish Kumar, beautiful. So if you're playing the game without wounds, you are not playing the game. You're watching the game. If you are playing the game without wounds, you are not playing the game. You are mastering the game. Fantastic quote. So playing the game has wounds. Life has wounds. Everything has something. You got to feel it. If you don't, stay on the side. Be part watching. That's fine. Watch the game. But if you're watching the game, there are wounds. You lick your wounds and get it back in there. Perfect. Thank you. So when you master the past, you are a scholar. When you master the present, you are a saint. When you master the future, you are a sage. Same guy, Matshona Gliwayo. Beautiful. When you master the past, you are a scholar. When you master the present, you are a saint. When you master the future, you are a sage. Another one. Free yourself just as a slave seek for full freedom from his or master. Great chefs always have to wait for hours. They adapt to all circumstances. So to end, I want to add on this one. Find the master within inside you and don't be surprised if it's you. Yes? So find the master inside you, and don't be surprised if it's you. To end on a positive tone. Find the master inside and don't be surprised if it's you. So if you're the master, then definitely outshine yourself. If you're not, think twice. So there are times when you should outshine the master, and that's when it is you. So find the master inside you, and don't be surprised if it's you. Right here, by Syed Sharouk. Beat from the end on, right here. Find the master inside, and don't be surprised if it's you. So my friend, the master is you. Don't give it power. Don't sell your soul to others. Your master, you are the master. Be the master. Be control of your fears, your emotions, your actions. Be the master, and then outshine yourself by doing better than yesterday. That's when you outshine the master. If you're the master, outshine yourself. If you're not, then chances are you might be punished. But please find the master inside, and don't be surprised if it's you, because definitely it is you. So on that positive tone, we do a quick shout out to all our fans who have been watching us. So our goal, ladies and gentlemen, is to reach 50,000, and we are not far. I'm on 49,000. Oh, I've got 400 left. Yes, come on. We can do this. I was hoping by Friday next week, but I didn't get it. So by tomorrow, unless we should get to 50,000 followers. As the end, we say a shout out to everyone who has liked us. Thank you for liking us, following, commenting. So our goal is to reach 50,000. I'm at 49,578. So we have a little more to go, and in a little while we're getting there. Let us sing a song that will cheer us by the way. In a little while we're gonna get 50,000. Let us go for it. We're almost there. Thank you to all who've been posting and commenting. So thank you to all the followers. I appreciate. Oh, fantastic. Any alerts, anyone? So shout out all those who just joined us right now. Emmanuel, Chepken, good. Hey, Chamge. You are Chamge, mister. You are what? Oh, no. What's the tribe? Oh, I forgot the people. So people in Kenya, definitely remember that. Scorpion, Jackson, Mohammed Abdi, Henry Udeyo Bangu, Rizvan Eliev. I can't read. Sorry, thank you. Is that Ukrainian? Thank you. Or Russian? Halim Asem, Matthias Lamos, Lorena, Omar Almidfa, Sudan Samawid, Quetta, Tibetina Lucha? Am I correct? Matt Frank, David Novak. These are latest subscribers, followers. Thank you. Thank you all. Sorry, I'm in the wrong spot, right? I apologize. I'm very sorry. Right here. So all these are the latest followers. I want to say thank you. So our goal is to reach 50,000, and we have 400 left. Thank you all for following, and I do appreciate it. Very kind of you. Keep it up. Keep up the great work, and you are absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. As I said, if you want to check out the subscribers, when more discussions, in-depth questions, a badge. If you want more exclusive content, definitely follow my subscribers group. So it's not free. Nope, nothing free, nothing cheap here. We don't do cheap, we don't do free. If you want more content on a deeper level, then definitely join our subscribers group. Something we're launching soon. So if you want to be joining us before we launch, definitely. We're launching in a few days. We're going to launch it. So we've created the content, we've created all the stuff in there. If you want to join us, if you want to beat the crowds and be the first to be there, there's a reward. So I won't tell you unless you join, but feel free to subscribe and join my private group. Yes, a small fee. It's not a fee, it's just a membership fee. That's it. If you like it, yeah, you can subscribe anytime. If you don't like it, you can leave anytime as well. But definitely think about it. If you want more content, or if you like the content that I'm giving, definitely is for you. Then feel free to join me. Oh, we should end. It's been 1 hour and a half. So a big shout out to everyone who has liked the page. As you can see, people coming in. I see rolling in. People sharing. 100k followers, Robert Zorowski. 100k. Oh, thank you. See, when somebody this big shares you, Robert Zorowski, like that is a big thing. So I'm going to say a big shout out to this guy. He has actually shared my posts. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing the post. this people can. Oh, this is a big audience here, my friend. So this is for a person of 100k followers to share your post. People can see it and they'll get back to my page. So that's marketing for me right there. I'm very grateful. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sharing that post. I appreciate that. Is a lot. That goes a long way. She said thank you to this man. So it says over 100k followers. So he shared my post. He has 387k followers, but he shared my post. So that means I can get people from his page. His audience might like some of my stuff as well. So that is the power of sharing people's posts. When someone shares your post, somebody big like this, it really boosts my likes, my comments, because people might he's endorsing my content. People on his page might come check me out and like. So I'm grateful for those who are sharing the posts, isn't it? But this is a big dog. 387k followers? That is like 10 times my followers, almost 9 times my following. So definitely I'm grateful for that share. What's his name again? Oh, it's gone now because there's hours have come on. But definitely, I can go back, can't I? Let's see who shared it. Thank you for everyone, to be honest. Anyway, thanks for sharing, everyone. I appreciate it very much. It's kind of, not saying I'm not letting anyone, but I want to see the guy. No, it's not there. Robert Zaromsky, that's it. The guy who shared my post. Thank you very much, Robert Zaromsky, for sharing my post today. Thank you very much for sharing it. You have done me. You have 37 followers. Thank you very much. I appreciate. That's it. So yeah. So to end this, I'm going to look at our followers. So if you see your name there, a big thank you. Anthony, Georgia, Florina, Marcos, Val, Smith, Jane, Bryant, Maoni, Lucas, that one I don't know, thank you. Jahir, Elias, Anna, Sakaya, Koinamara, Sorovakawalu. Ooh, Varakawalu. Honolulu, is that Hawaii, Fiji? Sorovakawalu. Solomon Islands, Rasjan, Ethiopia, Henley, thank you. Ursula, Pame, Steven, Ree, C for one, Zach, Malili, Goran, Rui, Timoshi. Is that Timothy? Timosi, Powell, Victorio, Philaso, Farrell, Dean. Josko, I'm not sure. From Croatia, oh my goodness. Josko Ribiko. Oh, I don't know, I speak my Croatian, I'd learn some Croatian. Thank you. Frankie, Chris, Buland, Shukur, George, Georgia, Tony, Jos. Assalamu alaikum. I don't know that, thank you. Livio, Gabriel, Bioman, Richard, Salam alaikum. Billy Maltais, thank you. Jonas Mohammed. Scorpion, oh Jackson, Rodney Smith, Henry Udiobangu, Elizabeth Robin, thank you. Privet, one of those, thank you. Halim, Omar, Matthias, Sudan, oh Kveta, Luchakova. How do you pronounce that word? Chiveta. That's very interesting. Sorry, I gotta pronounce the word. Translation. I like this, not new words. Oh, it's Czech. It's a Czech word. Oh, thank you from the Czech Republic. Bravo. Omar, so Peter, Matt, Police, Jens, Brett, Gordon, Gregory, Ahmad, Hussein, Fanil. So let's go on. I can't mention all of you. It's quite a lot, but all of you who are watching, I do say thank you very much. Got a great work with positive vibes, and congratulations for making the right decision. You have made the right choice. I repeat, you have made the right choice by following this page. You have made a great decision in your life. Yes, you, my friend, have made the right choice by following my page. You are a genius for doing this. You are an amazing person. You have made the right choice. Okay, you are a genius for following the page. You are amazing. You're fantastic. You are a superstar. You are a master. You follow my page, I deem you a master. You become a master. You have done a great favor. You've done the world. You're serving the world by following my page. I'm gonna be cheeky here. I'm gonna be a bit cheeky, confident, a bit arrogant. By following my page, you're serving the world. Confidence is confidence, isn't it? I'm gonna be cheeky here and step out of the boots. I'm saying, you, my friend, have done a great job by following my page. You are confident. You're wise. I deem you by the 14 better than me. I make you a master. That's it. By following the page, you have become great. I put for you my congratulations and jubilations. Where is it? Thank you all for following. I appreciate your kindness, your gestures, your generosity goes far. By you sharing the content, you make is kindness. You're saying thank you. There we are. Congratulations and jubilations. Thank you very much for tuning in. There's plenty more of you. You guys are amazing. Just by doing this, you have made the greatest choice you've made in your life, the best decision ever. This is a great choice you have made. You are fantastic. Inisha, Francis, Ali, look at all these great people. Fine people, beautiful souls. Look at those beautiful eyes, beautiful teeth, beautiful hair. Great people, fantastic people. All of you are amazing. Keep up the great work. It's a positive tone. Oh, you are great masters now. I deem you my disciples. Go forth and preach the good word that Joshua is here. Go forth, tell your friends, tell your family. You have done a great job. You are fantastic. You're going to get lots of good things, I won't tell you. But you have made the first step in serving the world. Heal the world, make it a better place by following Joshua's page on Facebook. Heal. Are we back on live? Are we back? Yes, we are back. Thank you. So, it's a big shout out. I end it right here. I think that's the time saying that's enough. That's the universe. That's God saying that's it. Time over. I've got my limit. Don't be too greedy. Let me not outshine the master. Cheeky. But in summary, definitely. So heal the world, make the better place. Find the master within you. You are the master. Find the master within you and master your fears, and then outshine yourself. But if you're at a workplace, if you're in a job, make sure you're careful who you're pleasing or who you're shining. Remember this. On a positive tone, master your fears, become the master, learn how to improve yourself, become better. So I love you all. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. It was great. It was a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed me. I enjoyed your company very much. I hope it was a good pleasure to your company. I hope you enjoyed the night, and I hope you share the video with your friends and your people. So if you're new, subscribe. I'll join the subscribers group, and we shall see you tomorrow night, Tuesday 26th at 9 p.m. for the Jehudah show. Have a great night, and we shall see you again. Take care.